Most people skip these chapters in the book of Exodus. 13 chapters of Exodus, nearly a third of the book, dedicated to building a tent. Measurements, fabrics, loops, clasps, and curtain hooks. Gold overlay specifications. The average reader hits Exodus 25, and their eyes glaze over. They flip ahead to the golden calf story, because at least something happens there. But here is the thing. The author of Exodus didn't accidentally spend a third of his book on interior decorating. He did it on purpose. And if we slow down and look at how he built this section, we discover something that changes everything. Not just about the sanctuary, but about what God has been trying to do since the very first page of the Bible. Let's start at the beginning, not Exodus 25, where the sanctuary instructions begin. Genesis chapter 1, where God creates the world. In the beginning, God creates through speech. And God said appears 10 times in Genesis chapter 1. Over 7 days, he speaks order out of chaos, fills emptiness with life, and builds a world designed to be his dwelling place with humanity. On the 7th day, the Sabbath, he rests. Not because he is tired, but because the project is complete. The house is finished. The Creator takes up residence. Genesis chapter 2 places the first humans in a garden, and the Hebrew word used to describe what Adam does there is abad, to serve or to work. The same word used later to describe what priests do in the sanctuary. Eden isn't just a garden, it's the first temple, the place where heaven and earth overlap, where God and humans live together, face to face. Then comes the catastrophe. Humans choose autonomy over trust, and the result is exile. They're driven east, away from the presence. Cherubim with a flaming sword guard the entrance. The way back is blocked. And from Genesis chapter 3 onward, the entire biblical story is about one question. How do God and humans get back together? Keep that question in mind, because Exodus chapter 25 is the answer. After liberating Israel from Egypt, God brings them to Mount Sinai. He gives them the covenant. And then he says something stunning. Exodus 25:8. Let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell among them. The Hebrew word for dwell is shakan, and it's the root of the word mishkan, the name for the sanctuary itself. God isn't asking for a building. He's asking for an address. He's moving in. The God who has seemed distant since Eden is literally pitching his tent in the middle of the camp. But here's what almost nobody notices. The way the author of Exodus writes the sanctuary instructions is not random. It's a deliberate echo of Genesis chapter 1. Exodus 25 through 31, where God gives Moses the sanctuary blueprints, is structured as 7 divine speeches. Each one begins with, "And the Lord spoke to Moses." 7 speeches, matching the 7 days of creation. and the seventh speech. It's not about another piece of furniture. It's about the Sabbath. Exodus chapter 31, verses 12 through 17. Just like Genesis chapter 1, the sequence ends with rest. The parallels go deeper. In Genesis chapter 1, the Spirit of God hovers over the waters before creation begins. God's Spirit initiates both projects. In Genesis chapter 1, God creates over 7 days and then rests. In Exodus 29, the priests are consecrated over 7 days before they begin serving. In Genesis chapter 1, the work culminates with God surveying everything He made and declaring it very good, then blessing the seventh day. In Exodus chapter 39, Moses surveys the finished sanctuary, sees that the workers did it exactly as God commanded, and blesses them. The language is virtually identical. The author is telling us something profound. Building the sanctuary is an act of new creation. In a world broken by sin, God is recreating Eden. Not on a mountain this time, but in a portable tent that travels with His people through the wilderness. The sanctuary is a microcosm, a small world inside the broken world, where the original design of Genesis chapter 1 is restored. Heaven and earth overlap again. God and humans are face to face again. The way back to Eden isn't just a memory, it's a tent you can walk into. And once you see it, the details stop being boring. They become breathtaking. Let's walk through the sanctuary from the outside in, because the architecture itself tells a story. You start in the courtyard. It's open to the sky, accessible to anyone in the camp. The first thing you encounter is the bronze altar, the altar of burnt offering. This is where sacrifice happens. An animal dies in place of the worshiper. It's visceral, uncomfortable, and unavoidable. You can't get deeper into God's presence without first confronting the cost of sin. The blood isn't decoration. It's the price of re-entry. Past the altar you find the bronze basin, the laver, where priests wash before entering the sanctuary. It was made, remarkably, from the bronze mirrors donated by the women of Israel. Mirrors, instruments of self-reflection, melted down and reshaped into a vessel for cleansing. There's something poetic the author wants us to see. The thing that shows you who you are gets transformed into the thing that makes you clean. Then you step inside the tent itself, into the holy place. And the atmosphere shifts completely. The courtyard was open and bright. The holy place is enclosed, intimate, lit only by the golden lampstand, the menorah. It has 7 branches, shaped like a tree, with buds, blossoms, and flowers. Scholars have argued convincingly that the menorah represents the tree of life from Eden. The tree that was lost when humans were exiled from the garden is standing again, burning with living light inside the sanctuary. Eden is being rebuilt, one piece of furniture at a time. On the opposite side stands the table of showbread, 12 loaves, one for each tribe, set before God's presence continually. Bread on a table in the presence of God. It's a meal, a communion, the image of fellowship restored. And between the lampstand and the table, directly in front of the veil, stands the golden altar of incense. And every morning and evening, the priest burns fragrant incense that rises as a cloud into the air. The psalmist later writes, "Let my prayer rise before you as incense." The altar of incense is the image of prayer, human words ascending into the presence of God, mingling with His glory. Then there's the veil, the thick, woven curtain, embroidered with cherubim. Remember Genesis 3. Cherubim, guarding the way back to God's presence. Here they are again, woven into the fabric that separates the holy place from the most holy place. But now there's a difference. Once a year, on the Day of Atonement, the high priest passes through the cherubim. The barrier that was absolute in Genesis 3 is penetrable in the sanctuary. Not easily, not casually, but the way back is being opened. Behind that veil is the most holy place, the Kodesh HaKodeshim. And inside it, only one object, the Ark of the Covenant. A gold-covered chest containing the stone tablets of the covenant, a jar of manna, and Aaron's rod that budded. On top of the ark, two golden cherubim face each other, their wings stretching over what's called the Kapparet, the mercy seat. This is where God says He will meet with Moses. "There I will meet with you," He says in Exodus 25:22, "and I will speak with you from above the mercy seat." The Hebrew word kaporet comes from the root kafer, which means to cover or to atone. The very lid of the ark, the place where God's presence rests, is named for atonement. God doesn't sit on a throne of judgment. He sits on a seat of mercy. The first thing between God and the tablets of the law He gave is a cover called atonement. That's not an accident. That's theology built into furniture. This is the culmination of the sanctuary's design. In the holy place you experience the restoration, light, bread, prayer, fellowship. In the most holy place you arrive at the answer, God Himself, dwelling above mercy, speaking face to face. The entire structure is a journey. From the gate to the ark, you are walking back to Eden. I've been carrying the weight of feeling far from God, assuming the distance is my fault. But the sanctuary says the opposite. God is the architect. God is the one building the path. God moved His address into the center of a refugee camp in the wilderness because He refused to be far from His people. And He moved into human flesh because a tent wasn't close enough. And He tore the veil because even a once-a-year visit through the curtain wasn't enough. God is not far. He never was. He's been building his way back to you since the day you left the garden.